told you, I'm actually pretty impressed that this turned out to be true, because you never know for sure. But when I saw Mank, I was like, man, the Academy and awards season is going to love this movie. And, I wasn't sure I doubted myself because, Mank never really caught on with the media. But sure enough, because Hollywood just loves movies about themselves, and when they're the hero, too, they're like, look how great we are. Or in this case, how some of us were really bad, but some of us were really great and took care of it, kind of. Mank's a pretty sophisticated movie. And sure enough, Mank has the most Oscar noms at 10. Will it actually win any of them, though? Will David Fincher be taking a lot of shots again on Oscar night like he was during the Golden Globes? I think he might. I mean, it didn't win a single Golden Globe, despite being the most nominated film there as well. But I think that considering that the first half of Mank is genius and the second half is hot garbage, being the most nominated film but not actually winning anything seems very representative of what Mank is actually like. I mean, the first half is great, and even the second half has some really interesting points, but it's just, I would say, it becomes unwatchable. And I know many people who've turned Mank off, which is too bad, because again, that first half is so good, and I think the nod to old school film techniques is really fascinating. It's just too bad. But, whatever. All right, David Fincher, still not going to get a goddamn Oscar for directing. He's going to have to find something else. But to be honest with you, I am the happiest about the recognition for Judas and the Black Messiah. That's another one. I saw that movie right before the Golden Globe nominations came out, and I was blown away. I was like, this movie is phenomenal. Loved it so much. And then it never materialized at the Golden Globes. I believe because they started their award campaign too late to really register there. But I'm glad that it's recognized here. It's one of the 6 movies with 6 noms that are in second, all tied for second place behind Mank. I really hope that Judas is a springboard for everyone associated with it in front of and behind the camera, because there's just so much talent there. Also, I think it's don't worry, we're going to play our favorite game in a moment, but I want to talk about a couple of things first. I think it's an interesting development that diversity in Hollywood has finally bloomed to such a degree that there isn't enough room for every diverse film to get all the noms people would like it to at the Oscars. The Oscars try to be very democratic and spread the nominations out. And so I think pretty much every really good film this year can say at least it was Oscar nominated. And now I know this has angered some fans to see their favorites not up there. And I think the biggest snubs are One Night in Miami, News of the World, and also Da 5 Bloods. I feel Da 5 Bloods started too early, and I think Judas and the Black Messiah came in there at the last minute and took most of its nominations, which is too bad, but Judas is a really good movie. There just isn't enough room. That's why it's so important to time your Oscar campaign just right. And Da 5 Bloods, again, I think came too early. And then, it had Chadwick Boseman, but Ma Rainey came. Netflix has, these are like all Netflix movies. Netflix has way too many Oscar contenders this year, and they kind of cannibalized themselves because, they also wanted to get Trial of the Chicago 7 in there. So they really did Da 5 Bloods a bit of a disservice in that regard. But anyway, I think that those 3 movies have the biggest snubs, yet Da 5 Bloods really got snubbed, which again is unfortunate because I really like that movie too. But One Night in Miami and News of the World do have some noms still. So, it's tough. It's tough competition. Even in the year of a pandemic, there still wasn't enough space for all the good movies that managed to still come out. I really liked News of the World. I highly recommend that you watch it. At first, you'll be like, no way is this movie good. Keep going. By the end of the movie, you will be blown away at how good it is. That's Tom Hanks. He never lets you down. I even like Greyhound, too, actually. I thought Greyhound had some problems, but I like that movie, too. Tom Hanks, that's one of the reasons he's one of the few movie stars left. That's what makes a movie star. Not only likability and stuff like that, but reliable. Like Leonardo DiCaprio and Denzel Washington. All right. But after you get over not seeing your personal favorites nominated, if that's the case, just take a step back and look at an incredibly diverse celebration of talent from pretty much every demographic, by the way, and without, I think, any tokenism. I think it's really exciting, and it shows that expanding Academy membership has worked. I mean, obviously, these films need to be made in the first place, and they are getting made, and they're being recognized by the voters at the Academy. So, I mean, I think this is fantastic. There's been controversy this year about changes in rules and voting and stuff for many organizations. But I think, the Academy stepped up, which is great because they're last, so they have to have something going for them. besides being the most important award in the industry, which is why I don't like this design aesthetic that they have. This looks like invitations to me to an afternoon lunch. Then again, the most important award in the industry. So I don't like this. I don't like the design aesthetic, but I like the nominations themselves. So yes, without further ado, it's time to play our favorite game, Who Should Win and Who Will Win. And I have to say, this year, there's no big, like, huge favorite, like, you know, when we get a blockbuster in there usually. So I think, you know, maybe it is a little bit like an afternoon lunch. We like all the ladies who've been invited to lunch. We like them all. So maybe that's part of it. That's funny. But we're not going to go over every category in the interest of time, just like the Oscars struggle with their telecast. But we're going to go over the majority of the categories. We're going to go over 14 of them. All right, here we go. And feel free to play along down below yourself. I will be covering the Oscars. There's not as much interest in them this year, unfortunately, so I won't be covering them to the same level that I usually do, but I'll certainly be live tweeting the show and stuff like that and doing a review afterwards. All right, so let's start off with Best Picture. They only have, I usually have notes, but today I decided you're going to see my thought process. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. They can go up to 10, remember? But I think this is a good number, to be honest with you. I think this is a good number. I don't think you want to get to a point where you're like, you have a movie in there and you're like, there's no chance it could win. But at least it got nominated. I mean, then it shouldn't be nominated if there isn't a chance. Well, I guess there's always some chance. But I'm happy to see Minari in here. I think that's really great. I know that, of course, was foreign language at the Golden Globes, which was a big controversy. It's been doing very well on iTunes, so I think this is a nice nod to it. I think this is a very nice list of films. I personally would like to see Judas and the Black Messiah win this, but unfortunately, after its win at the Golden Globes, I think that Nomadland is just barreling towards the win here, which is great for Chloe Zhao, although I don't know if you saw, but all of a sudden she's like this controversial figure in China, which is really going to hurt Eternal's chances in China, it seems, which is a big box office for Marvel. But that's been an interesting ride. I also really like Promising Young Woman, but I think Promising Young Woman is just hanging on at this point, which is unfortunate because I like the movie so much. But I think it's not the front runner that it once was. So I think Nomadland is going to win this. I thought for sure that movie was out, but it's back in. If Mank's going to win anything, I think it would actually be Best Picture. But I think it's between Mank and Nomadland, but I think it's going to be Nomadland. I don't really think any of them. As I said, Judas and the Black Messiah is the only film. Judas and the Black Messiah and Promising Young Woman are the only movies here that really, truly blew me away, that I thought were just incredible. All right. Best Actor in a Leading Role. Chadwick Boseman's going to win this, as he should. It's a posthumous win. It's his last chance to get an Oscar, and I think he definitely deserves one. I, again, feel his work in To Five Bloods was better, but I just want to see Chadwick Boseman win. I am incredibly happy for Riz Ahmed and Steven Yeun to be nominated. To have a Muslim and Asian actor, I believe Riz Ahmed is of Pakistani descent. I saw a headline that he was the first Muslim actor to be ever nominated for leading actor. I thought Riz Ahmed's career was over. I thought he'd faded away. So he's back with a vengeance, baby. Never give up. Life's a marathon, not a sprint. And I hope he gets a ton of work off of this, because he ain't winning. It's Chadwick Boseman. So the nomination is incredibly valuable. And I hope Steven Yeun gets a lot of work off of this too. He's doing the voice in the upcoming in Invincible animated series, which is so good. I'm very happy for him too. I think that, and Anthony Hopkins was phenomenal in The Father, but Gary Oldman, get him out of here. I can't believe, it's just such a lazy nomination. And he's miscast in Mank, and it's not particularly good. So I think that could have gone to somebody else. Damn it. All right, next up, Best Actress. Andra Day. Unfortunately have not had a chance to see this film. I haven't seen this or Sound of Metal, and I'm going to watch them. When I talked about Andra Day winning at the Golden Globes, many of you said that while you didn't care for the film that she was in, her performance itself was phenomenal. And I've been open to that. I think she looks incredible in the movie. I thought her speech was very, very charismatic and likable. So I think that Andra Day could win here. The other person who won, Rosamund Pike, at the Golden Globes in the other comedy musical category, isn't even nominated. So that makes Andra Day, the de facto frontrunner here. I would really like Carey Mulligan to win. I mean, with all due respect to Andra Day, I thought that Carey Mulligan's performance was career defining. So I would like Carey Mulligan to win, but I think I'd be very happy with Andra Day as well. And I do believe it's between the two of them. All right, next up, actor in a supporting role. Here's Sacha Baron Cohen, but not for Borat, thank goodness. You know, I like the movie, had its moments. It was weak overall, though. And he was very good in Trial of the Chicago 7, though. But Daniel Kaluuya is going to win this, and as he should. He's so good in Judas and the Black Messiah. It's funny, a lot of people are talking about the fact that Lakeith Stanfield was nominated here and not in lead, which, by the way, Warner Brothers had put him in. Maybe after he didn't get nominated at the Golden Globes, maybe they changed it and submitted him. You know, the studio decides what they're submitting. I'm not sure if the Academy can be like, nice try, no. But I'm just happy he got nominated. Lakeith Stanfield, you know, Judas and the Black Messiah is a very good ensemble cast, but it really is on the shoulders of Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. They are fantastic. You know, the film has a lot to borrow from Scorsese, but, you know, it doesn't steal from Scorsese. You know, it just, you know, builds on that. And they're just so good. They're a lot like Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon in The Departed. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya is going to win, but that's so important for Lakeith Stanfield's career. I'm very happy for him, and I hope that he gets a lot more work. But it's a great category. Everybody in it is good. I'm a big fan of Leslie Odom Jr. As I said, I have to see Sound of Metal, but I believe Daniel Kaluuya will take this home, as he should. Next up, Best Supporting Actress. Now here's where Borat might win. Maria Bakalova, I think, could win because it's a woman doing the Borat shtick and doing it very well. So I think that's why she actually is the front runner to win here. This is another great category. Glenn Close, I mean, she was like in, Hillbilly Face. I mean, I don't know how good her performance really, I thought her performance was not that great. And quite frankly, a little insulting to the community. But here she is. Olivia Colman, you know, fine. Amanda Seyfried, I thought was phenomenal in Mank. So I'm happy to see her here. She needs this. A lot of people getting career boosts, and a lot of people who've been around for a long time. So I'm very glad they didn't give up and they're being recognized. And Yoo Jung-hoon from Minari, she did a fine job, but I don't think she should win. So I think it's going to go to Maria Bakalova, but I would love if Amanda Seyfried had an upset. I don't think she's going to over Maria Bakalova because Maria Bakalova's performance is so in your face. Then directing. I'm very surprised that Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round got in here. But that film, people really like that movie. It's a very European movie because basically the premise is, it stars Mads Mikkelsen, so this is very good for him too. But the premise is that you should be drunk all the time and it will make your life better, which is, again, a very European viewpoint. I don't really know how responsible that is. Has anyone seen the movie? Did they make a responsible argument for that's how you should live your life, you know, a little bit buzzed all the time? I guess some people do feel that way, but I'm not sure about that. But so he's nominated for directing, you know, and I have to say, I'm very happy to see two women here. I feel bad for Regina King. I didn't particularly care for her movie, but I'm a big fan of her as an actress. And just as a personality, I just love her so much. But I think that the person who got her spot is Lee Isaac Chung from Minari. And I think that, as I said, this is a really nice, you know, they try to be very democratic at the Academy. And I think that here they have a representation of a lot of different groups, which I think is really nice. I guess they don't have a black director nominated here, which I think maybe some people would have an issue with. Considering you have also Judas and the Black Messiah that they could have nominated. But I guess, you know, they have Chloe Zhao, and, you know, they do have two women. But it's a great list, and I'm very happy to see two women on there. But I think Chloe Zhao is going to win it. I think Chloe Zhao is going to win it. The only thing, maybe David Fincher could win it because he's never gotten an Oscar before, and he's pretty far along in his career. But Chloe Zhao is the front runner and the favorite to win. Next up, adapted screenplay. Remember, they divide screenplay into adapted and original. Although, what the heck is Borat subsequent movie film adapted from? It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, that's nominated. The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami. Here it is. Kemp Powers, who also worked on Soul. I really liked what Kemp Powers said about Soul. He said, some people might think I only worked on the the Jamie Foxx character's portion of the movie, but I worked on the whole thing, and I was really glad that he clarified that and made that clear to people. And then I'm so happy that The White Tiger is here. The lead actor got a nomination over at the BAFTAs, and here Ramin Bahrani, who has been working also for a very long time. Evolve or die. One of my favorite sayings came from, it's an old saying, but it really made an impression on me in his Dennis Quaid, Zac Efron movie that he made. That's where I got that from. So I've always been a Ramin Bahrani fan ever since. So I'm really happy to see him nominated. But I think as for who will win, it might be The Father. That's a very heavily written movie because it's based on a theater. It's based on a theatrical performance, a play. So I could see that winning. I think there's a very good chance that The Father could win. Or One Night in Miami, which is also, I believe, based on a play. So I think it'll be between those two, although I really loved The White Tiger. So I wish it was more of a contender. All right, next up. Original screenplay. Judas and the Black Messiah. This is the only way Shaka King can win an Oscar, so maybe he'll get it. Minari. Although is he listed under Best Picture? Yes, he is. But I don't think they're going to win there either. Damn it, it's hard. It's one thing to get nominated. You got to keep going and you get even further and get the actual Oscar. All right, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. So Aaron Sorkin, the industry loves Aaron Sorkin. And he won the Golden Globe. So I can see him getting this. I would prefer that it goes to Promising Young Woman or Judas and the Black Messiah. I actually thought Minari was very underwritten, which was one of my problems with it. So I wouldn't have it win. I think I would go with Promising Young Woman or Judas and the Black Messiah. But who do I think is going to win? Again, I think it's going to be Trial of the Chicago 7. Which was a good screenplay. But I mean, come on, how many Oscars does Aaron Sorkin need? All right, original score. Here, Da 5 Bloods does have a nomination. Da 5 Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul. I really liked News of the World, but I never once recognized the music in it. Soul, though. Soul's going to win this. 1,000%. It totally deserves to win. And once again, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are double nominees. Deserved for Mank and Soul, but Soul's going to win, as it should. Fantastic score. Phenomenal score. I would have liked to have seen Wonder Woman 1984 in there, damn it, but it didn't get in. Birds of Prey didn't get any nominations for hair and costume or makeup, even though Suicide Squad actually won for hair and makeup, I believe. So that's surprising. I guess not totally surprising, but it's definitely a commentary from the Academy. All right, original song. I don't like this category because, again, the music should be in the movie, not over the credits or inspired by. But I know so many of you like it, so I decided to cover it. I was very happy that Husavik from Eurovision is in here. And that was actually in the movie. So I would go with Husavik for sure. But I think there's not a chance in hell it's going to win, goddammit. I wish that it would. But that's what I would like to win. Next up, I have no idea what's going to win. I have no idea in this category. I'm curious to what you think might win. Animated feature film. 2 Pixar movies, Onward, Soul, Over the Moon. I'm over the moon to see Over the Moon here, but I don't think it's going to win because it has a little bit of a focus issue from an artistic standpoint. Although, Glenn Keane, you're on your way to having your own animation studio. I think he's going to definitely get another animated movie from this that he'll do for Netflix. I can't wait to see what it is. Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon. I didn't even know that came out. And then Wolfwalkers. Everyone's like, come on, Tom Moore's so good, God damn it. And I'm like, I know some of you really love his work, but it just does not spark any interest in me. But, I loved Onward. Loved Onward so much. But Soul is a more sophisticated film. It's a more ambitious film. And it's classic Pixar. It's everything Pixar has wanted to be for decades and finally achieved in terms of, being, tugging on the heartstrings, but earning it. Next up, animated short film. I only included this because I've seen Burrow. If Burrow was on Disney Plus. I didn't think of that. Disney Plus has all these animated shorts and they're like, excellent. Oscar wins. And I thought Burrow was really charming. And in fact, I was visiting my parents and I showed it to my father. And my father usually doesn't care that much for animation, but he thought that was just so charming, that short. It made him laugh while he was watching it, and he was like, that was really good. And I was like, wow, it really spoke to him. So that really made an impression on me, and so I think Burrow probably will win, and no disrespect to the other nominees, I think it should. Next up, visual effects, right? No Wonder Woman 1984, although the visual effects were one of the weakest aspects of that film. Love and Monsters. Isn't that great that that's there? You know, that's the Dylan O'Brien movie that went to streaming. I'm so glad that it got nominated. It had surprisingly good visual effects. The Midnight Sky, that's the only thing for the George Clooney movie. Mulan, you know, they're like, they did a great job taking out those concentration camps. Nobody knew they were there. The one and only Ivan, so incredible. And then Tenet. It is easier to say Tenet, but Tenet, Tenet was kind of like, it's very good visual effects. They had everything going backwards. But, I think Christopher Nolan has done that kind of stuff before. I thought the acting in the one and only Ivan with the animals was just really impressive. So I'd like to see that taken home. But, the set pieces in Tenet were so impressive that I don't think anybody would be disappointed if it were to win. And I think it probably will, quite frankly. And then finally, international feature film. I think that this will be another round. Once your film gets nominated for another category, like directing, like a major category, that means the Academy really likes your movie. So he's not going to win in directing, but he's going to win here. Denmark will win for international feature film. So those are the Oscar nominations for the most part. I'm curious, who do you think should and will win? And what do you think of just the general nominations this year? Thanks for playing with me. Share those thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.